One of the beautiful sayings that we say to the people we want to bond with, let's sit down and break bread together. When you want to give a woman advice in a relationship, the first thing you say, the closest way to man's heart is his stomach. Food is always there. It's not just the food. It's not just nutrition. It's a ritual. It's something that feeds our bonds, our relationship. It makes us associated with other people, with the good times, even some bad times. Because you know what? Because your stomach has a separate brain on its own, for real. Let's see. Hello, beautiful people. I am Diana, and this is Diana Show. I'll be talking to you about a different and variety of subject, but the goal will always be is to make our life better, nicer, and happier, and more joyful to us and everybody around us. I will learn from you, and you will learn from me, and I hope I live up to your expectation. Let's go. Why did I say at the very beginning that your stomach is a different brain on? It has been considered, and it's known that your stomach is your second brain. You rely a lot on your gut feelings. The reason for this is because in your stomach, you have between 100 to 600 million nerve cells, and the brain and your stomach basically are made from the same fabric. Therefore, a lot of times, if something is off about somebody or something is off about a situation, you have a gut feeling something is not right. Before your brain can catch up and know what it is, your gut knows what it is. That's why it's crucial, and it's very important to feed your stomach a good food, a good fuel, because in your stomach also 95% of serotonin is being produced, and serotonin is the happy hormone. It's actually responsible for your mood, for your good mood, and for regulating your appetite. Therefore, it's very important, as I said, to know what we put in our stomach and what we put in our body. There's something called microbiomes in the stomachs. Microbiomes is basically a good bacteria. This gigantic army of good bacteria is responsible to digest food, regulating your mood and regulating your hormones. The thing about this army, you have to feed it well and healthy, because if you didn't feed it well and healthy, it's going to turn against you, and it's going to be a very bad ally. And it's going to put you in a bad mood that will reflect on you and everybody around you. So it's very important to consider what you feed these microbiomes. These microbiomes actually basically it thrives on probiotics, it thrives on good green foods, on vegetables, on fruits, on water, and everything actually that we always knew that's good for it. It gets hurt badly by bad fats, by saturated oil, by junk food, by sugar, by bad carbohydrate. This army will wreak havoc in your body. They found there is a big association between what you eat and your mental and emotional state. Why? Because your brain is connected to your stomach through the vagus nerves. So basically, the vagus nerve is actually responsible for your mood and for your emotional well-being. Therefore, in your stomach, if you don't eat good food, it increases your anxiety, increase your depression, lowers your energy, and on a lot of cases, it's in a big relation to some really bad mental illness. For example, in her book, Dr. Naidoo, This Is Your Brain on Food, she actually did a lot of research. She's a doctor, she has a PhD, and at the same time, she's a chef. She found a big association between PTSD symptoms and the food that you eat. To a lot of actually veterans, to a lot of rape survivors, to a lot of war survivors, these people actually has been traumatized and they have been through a lot mentally and emotionally. Bad food enhances these symptoms, makes it worse. Sugar, the new age cocaine. Sugar is extremely bad and harmful to the body, especially for people who has an ADHD. Sugar actually affects the brain and affects your cognitive behavior. Therefore, it's very known that sugar in kids is called ADHD. Sugar in your skin is premature aging. Sugar in your eyes is glaucoma. Sugar in elderly is dementia and Alzheimer. Sugar in your teeth is cavity. Sugar in your blood is diabetes. Sugar in your body is cancer. That's why sugar is really bad. And whenever your stomach is not very well fed, it really wreaks a havoc and expand the symptoms for ADHD, for PTSD, for even schizophrenia. It has a great association with depression and anxiety. I understand that some would say, okay, but I eat to feel good. That's called emotional eating. If you're stressed, if you're tired, if you had a rough day, what you would do is we need that little bit hit of dopamine. The only problem with this is a toxic relationship. You have a bad one-sided love relationship with food. At this point, what you do is you eat the junk food. You get a dopamine hit, it hits up. Then after that, immediately you crash down. And when you crash down, you get hit with anxiety, stress, depression all over again. In top of it, the guilt feeling that you actually ate some bad food that has no nutrition whatsoever into your body and basically is an empty calories. So whatever you put in your body has a great association to how you feel and how refreshed and how energetic you are. You have to understand something very important. We're all different. My body needs is different than everybody's else. I'm a person who has a very small bones. Like I have a small wrist, I have small hands. Other people, they have big bones. Therefore, to look big does not mean you're unhealthy. To look very tiny and petite and skinny does not mean that you're healthy. You could be skinny fat. And this is actually a term in the gym that you can be skinny fat. You have to know your body. You have to know what actually agrees with your body. I can drink milk or cream in my coffee. It destroys my digestive system. Forget the physical symptoms. I'm just lethargic and tired and iffy. And at the same time, I'm in a bad mood. Therefore, it's important to know what kind of things that your body agrees with. A lot of people, they love milk. Actually, they thrive on it. Some people, they even have allergies to eggs. And I consider eggs a great source of protein. I love eggs. I eat eggs every single day. My body accepts it. Other people cannot tolerate it. The taste can be different. Also, the physical symptoms can be bad. Another point, men and women are extremely different in their body's needs and their nutrition needs. Women needs more fat than men. Before our period, in the luteal phase, women usually, they are irritated, they're cranky, and they are eating everything inside, especially sugar and carbohydrate. What happens is our hormones get fluctuated. The estrogen and progesterone drops at lowest at this time. In order to compensate for that low blood sugar, we start eating sugar and carbohydrate. At the same time, it affects our serotonin level. Our serotonin level, like we said, it's a happy hormone. So we try to eat to compensate for that bad feelings and the irritability and the crankiness that we have at that time. Therefore, it's okay to eat that food at that time. Of course, we try to make as much as possible very good choices and healthy choices. But you have to understand also at that time, you are burning a lot of calories. I understand we're bloated, we're cranky, we are retaining water in every single part of our body. But at the same time, you are burning a lot of calories. So do not feel shame, do not feel guilt as you're eating this food. Your body needs it. And you're going to go back to normal in a matter of days. Another thing, men are different than women. They have discovered actually women who has fat in the midsection, especially in the hip area, they happen to have a high level of DHA in that area. This DHA is responsible for brain tasks and brain functionality and cognitive functionality. So the more fat that you have in this area, the higher your IQ level is. You're not only curvy and sexy, you're also very smart. And that also reflects when you have a baby. These DHA actually gets transferred to the baby, and especially for the first baby. So the woman's first baby has a higher DHA than their siblings. Considering the eldest kids are the smartest between their siblings, I'm just sneaking that in. Hopefully my brothers and sisters would see it. Just putting it out there. That's different for men. The more fat they have in their midsection, there's an enzyme called aromatase. That enzyme basically turns testosterone into estrogen. Hence the man boobs they get when they gain weight. What happens when men estrogen level gets higher than their testosterone? You're fatigued, it takes away from your muscle, your sexual libido is down because your testosterone level is down. You have a higher estrogen and you have man boobs. We don't want that. Men do not need as fat as women. For women, this is more beneficial than it is for men. So be very aware of your midsection. It's not sexy and it's not healthy. Your body is a vehicle. I don't know about vehicles. I don't know about cars much. But I know for certain, I know for sure, it's a dead fact that if I put a Coca-Cola into my gas tank in the car, I'll ruin the engine. And I know very well if I put orange juice in my plants, I'll ruin them and I'll kill them. And people who has pets will never see them giving chocolate to their dogs because that will kill them. So your body, that beautiful, miraculous machine that God gave it to you, it should last you from the day that you take your first breath to the day that you let out your last breath. It has to last with you. There's not much of maintenance parts you can get from here and there. It's extremely expensive and extremely bad if you get to that point. So your body has to last you. So what can we do? I don't know your body. I cannot tell you what you need or what you don't need. You can go on Google, ChatGPT, check with a nutritionist. They'll test you, and they'll let you know what you need and what you cannot tolerate. There's millions of tests, there's millions of labs that actually can do some blood tests and check you out. It's your responsibility to know what your body needs and what it cannot tolerate. That's your job. But there is few general tips, starting with fasting. Fasting is not just a spiritual act. It's not just a spiritual thing that we do in Ramadan, or we do it while we trying to meditate and all the stuff. No, when you fast, you hit a restart button in your body. Basically, you're starving your body from bad food. Even if it's not bad food, even if it's just eating regularly, your body start eating the bad cells in your body, which lower your risk of cancer, lower your blood sugar, which lower your risk of diabetes. It lower your blood pressure, which lowers, of course, your risk of high blood pressure problems. On top of it increases your focus, increase your brain functionality, because now you're clear. You can think clear and you can act with a clear head, because mainly, of course, you lower the sugar. That's our main and biggest problem, is whenever you cut down on sugar, your attention and your focus hits up. So fasting, any kind of fasting, Ramadan complete fasting, water fasting, vegetarian fasting, intermittent fasting, any fasting that can put the body in a little bit stress, which is good stress. It makes it digest all the bad things and all the bad cells, that get rid of all the garbage that's in your body. At the same time, regulate your functionality. Another tip you can do, we have a very bad habit, and I do too, is I love to eat while watching TV. The more that you watch TV, the more that you eat, the more you eat, the more that you watch TV. It's very bad cycle. So you eat without knowing what are you eating. You're not even tasting your food. Being mindful about what you eat, about the taste, the texture, the smell, the feel of it, it enhances your digestive. At the same time, it gives your brain a chance to catch up. Unfortunately, it takes 20 minutes for your brain to realize that you're full. So if you're eating fast and you're not digesting and chewing your food properly, and you're eating whatever, you filling up your stomach a lot faster than this signal that's going to get to your brain to let your brain know that you're full. So by the time your brain realizes that you're full, you're already exhausted, you're already at the end of it, and you just pass out on the couch or whatever you are. Therefore, it's very important to take your time to enjoy your food, to enjoy the smell of it, to be mindful about what you eat, to give your brain a chance to catch up that you are done digesting, that you are full at this point and you cannot eat more than that. Understand also one more thing. A lot of people saying, oh, well, I have heart problems, history in my family, my parents has diabetes, and that carries on. I get it. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a nutritionist. I understand that genetics play a big part. What happened is bad food, junk food, it changes your DNA, and that DNA goes to your kids. At the same time, so you carry these bad DNA and genetics from your parents. But at the same time, you have the same lifestyle. You eat the same food. You have the same eating habits. Therefore, you're going to have the same diseases and sickness that your parents have. Your life didn't change. Your lifestyle didn't change. The good thing here is our body is adaptable. It's so miraculous that it can heal itself if you feed it well, if you give it the right food. It's not a life sentence that your family has a history of diabetes, if your family has a history of high blood pressure. Change your lifestyle so you can change your DNA. And when you change your DNA, the future generation, your kids, your grandkids, have a healthier genetics. Why? Because you set the base. You knew that there's a problem and you cut it right there. Do not repeat the same mistakes that your parents did. Remember when we talked about in the episode about your inner child, that you have to reparent yourself? You're gonna have to reparent yourself. Also, you have to understand the quality of the food back then. It's not the same quality of the food right now. Things just keep getting worse. So you have to be very careful about that nutrition that you put in your body, and do not repeat your parents' mistake so you don't have the same problem that your parents has. One more thing also, food is medicine. The more colors that you have in your food, the healthier your food is. The best food you can have is the big plate of salad that has so many colors. I remember many of us, I think, we run into that post that shows the inside of tomatoes, like the heart, because it helps your heart and it helps your blood. You have the avocado, it's healthy fat, it's good for women. It looks like a little bulb. Food is medicine if you knew how to do it. Try to eat more food that does not come out of a bag. Food that actually has an expiration date, that can have some living things on top of it. Sometimes, actually, they did an experiment. They took food from McDonald's, a burger and French fries. These things lasted for years. It looks like you just bought it yesterday. It kept the same look. That's not a good food. That's a lot of reservation, a lot of chemicals, and a lot of garbage in that food. Food should expire. Real food should go bad if it stayed out for so long and it's not stored properly, and it shouldn't come out of a bag. The more colors you add to your food, the more healthier and the more nutrition you're gonna have. Basically, eat the rainbow, feel the rainbow, and eat the rainbow. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you get a little bit of information, and I hope it's useful for you. If there's certain food that you love to eat, and after you eat it, you feel so energetic after it, please let me know. I would like to have this information. I would like to feel good when I eat food. I do I try to make better choices as much as possible. But if you have any comments or any notes, I would like to know about it. Take care of your body. Take care of what you put in your body. You only have one body. You're not going to be able to change it. And it's going to cost you a lot of money. And you're not going to get to enjoy your life as much as possible. One time I heard a saying that said, an unhealthy person has one wish. A healthy person has so many wishes. Remember that and try to keep yourself and your body safe and healthy. And take care of it, because this vehicle is going to carry you until the last day of your life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And let me know in the comment what you like, what you didn't like. And like I said before, recommendation of food that can be very helpful. I'll see you next time.